Hey guys, so it's been a while since we did a Q&A. I don't even remember the last time we did one. I think the last time I did a Q&A was like 2018. It was high time to like catch up on some Chris lore, I guess. Some good old FFT lore. I won't be repeating too many of things that you've seen in the last Q&A because I'm sure there's still a lot of you who were watching before who are still watching now. But yeah, let's get this started. I'm excited. I tried to get as many of your questions as I can. I try to make it a bit more variable so it's not all about fish keeping. So sit back, relax, maybe put this in the background as you do a water change, and hopefully we'll have a good time together. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. First question from Scott Dewitt. If you could start over your entire fish journey from scratch, what would you do differently? What fish would you get over others? What fish would you completely avoid? Honestly, I wouldn't try to do too many things differently because I think the learning process, mistakes are part of that. As a young kid, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, but you're going to learn from it and improve on it. For fish that I would completely avoid, some of the fish I got were not really beginner friendly. Like neon tetras, goldfish, they should not be recommended to beginners. Neon tetras often die. You get 10 of them, you can expect like 30% mortality. And goldfish, I mean, we don't really have to talk about that. There's just so many more alternatives that are so much better. Samuel Carroll, have you considered making a bioactive paludarium? It's the coolest thing ever and it would make for a great video too. I believe so, and I've been wanting to do it for a long time, so it's definitely in the books. But how I feel about this channel is that nothing is really a big rush because I'm in it for the long run. I don't think I will ever, I might be answering some other question right now, but I don't think I would ever retire from YouTube, which means I have my whole life to like research about making paludariums and take it slow, make paludariums maybe 10 years from now, maybe sooner, who knows. Sparrow's Fish says, I miss your longer videos and how-to videos with new tanks. By the way, congrats on your engagement. Thank you so much. There will be more and more videos on how-to and making new tanks. I've actually uploaded a few this year, I think, or late last year. They'll keep on coming, and usually I post them on Wednesdays because those are my miscellaneous video days. Mondays are of course for FTRs. Tanner Hastings says, no question. Just love seeing you active and how much your channel has grown from some of your earliest videos to now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Zoe Chia says, how do you feel about Premade Hardscape? On Etsy, there's super cool carved wood from a group called Driftwood Aquarium. Their stuff looks cool as heck. Love your videos, by the way. Thank you. How I feel about Premade Hardscape? I'm cool with it. In fact, I have one right here. This is the Seru Strata V2 from BucePlant, I believe, and I've used it in one of the scapes. I mean, look at how cool this is. This is amazing. It looks super natural. I just display it on my wall now. I think it could be a little tacky sometimes, but I don't have a problem with it. Can you post pictures of your tanks? I would love to see some of the scapes you have done in the past. Sent in by Kelly Bobelli. Kelly, just take a look at my playlist. I have a whole aquascaping playlist. You can see more than just pictures. You can see the actual video of how I scaped it and how it looks afterwards in video format. So very comprehensive. Most of my scapes I've ever done in my life are on here. Frank Zilla, when you made the Billy Talent reference, Fallen Leaves, it got me a little excited. What bands are you into? My favorite band of all time is Linkin Park. My earring actually says LP, that stands for Linkin Park. Wanda Dawn Miller, when are you going to get a cat? They make great co-hosts. I'll bet. I would love to have a cat or a dog or both. I'm a cat and dog person. I love them equally. I have wanted like a creamsicle, orange creamsicle cat for a long time. I know that's not what they're called. But nowadays, I really want a black cat. I really like that they're so cute and mysterious at the same time. And I don't believe in karma, so I'm safe. I just want to turn off the lights and then just see a floating pair of eyes. Maybe Jenkins says, what are the best plants to use in a tank to keep maintenance to a minimum? You already know what I'm gonna say. Floaters. Of course, if you get duckweed, your maintenance is going to skyrocket. Maybe Salvinia or frogbit. App says, what's the best part of the video process? What's the step that really jazzes you up to make your videos? Honestly, I think the process, or what really hypes me up and jazzes me up, is when I'm done the video and I posted it and I see all your comments and reactions. Those are my favorite moments because it motivates me to get started on the next video because I know there's people watching, there's people enjoying, there's people interacting with my content, and we get to discuss in the comment section all the time. It's great to see all your comments. I read pretty much every single comment. So thank you for your support. Gigafish1. If you could remove any fish from the hobby, which one would you remove? By the way, love your content. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks, bro. I would want to remove all the fish that start small that you can buy from like PetSmart or Petco and nobody knows it grows that big. At least not the beginners who are getting these fish. Iridescent sharks, fleckos, most catfish species. Most of the people who are able to take care of these fish, they already know where to get them. They don't need to go to PetSmart or Petco to get them. I would even go as far to say anyone who gets them from Petco or PetSmart probably don't know what they're doing. Like, why would you go to Petco or PetSmart to get your iridescent shark for your 500-gallon aquarium? I'm pretty sure you already have sources. So the only customers getting these are not supposed to be getting these. R41NY Park, non-fish related. If you were a video game character, what items would you have equipped or what loot would you drop? For me, video game character items, I usually go for like a glass cannon sort of thief or rogue. I like my sharp swords and objects like that. I could go for a long sword or samurai sword or maybe dual blades, so I would drop that, I guess. And I really like fast movement. I like being able to teleport. If that's an option, I'll always take it. So probably drop some ender pearls. Fish related, have you ever had to move house and aquariums before? Can you describe the process? Yes, I've had to move so many times. The latest move was the worst because I had the most tanks. It was absolutely chaotic and I would not wish it upon my worst enemy. It is not a fun process. You don't have any fun. Tiring, and you're very stressed the whole time thinking your fish are gonna die, which they do. They will die if you don't do it properly. Christopher Thought says, why are you so handsome? Well, I mean, you know, hard to say, you know what I mean? Like, that's right. Dr. JT says, what are your hobbies other than fish keeping that you most enjoy? The most common thing I do other than fish keeping right now for like recreation is volleyball. I also like watching anime. So, well, I watched Haikyuu, so that's probably why I love volleyball so much now. I've been taking up snowboarding, learning how to carve and all that. Pretty fun stuff. My butt is very sore. I used to be very into animation, made some animations of my own. I really like photography. I've been meaning to like go out and take more wildlife photography and street photography. I like food. I like cooking a little bit. So much so I have my own food channel now. And I don't know, I feel like I'm missing quite a few still. Maybe I'll say it when I remember. All right. I'm gonna hydrate up. My mouth is feeling dry. I'm talking too much. All right, Ruben Daly asks, how has it been managing a social media site for over 2 years now? What challenges did you not expect, and has it been as rewarding as you hoped? So for those of you who don't know, I do have a social media website called Petscord. You can visit it right now, make an account, and start interacting with people on there. It's just petscord.com. And you can also submit for fish tank review. These days, I generally get half of the submissions from Petscord submissions and half from my Discord. I think the most challenging part was getting it set up, and the ongoing challenge is like, I don't know, I'm just losing 90% of the money every month. I think I only make back like 10%, if that. So it's just been like a waterfall of lost profits. It's also challenging because I just don't have the strongest background in web hosting and like WordPress, although it has been pretty fun yet challenging to learn all that. But I think it's really rewarding though, because just knowing that people interact with the website and a lot of people really like using the website. They've made friends, they're able to share with each other the pictures of their pets online. It's always rewarding just to see like this is a service I set up and people enjoy it and use it. That was the goal in the beginning. So even though it's like a dark abyss of money loss for me, it's still enjoyable, I guess. The Turtle Girl, hey Soul. By the way, I really liked your recent video where you try to convince your boss to get your fish tank into the office. So you have a fish channel and a food channel. What's going to be the final channel to complete the trinity? I mean, I do have some ideas in mind and I might have already tried a few of these ideas, but at the end of the day, I think like of all the things I've been trying to organize and trying to run and consistently follow a schedule, I think if I start another channel, I might die. I might not make it. There's just so much work now and I'm feeling overrun all the time, and I feel like if I take a break, things are gonna slip through my fingers. But if I try to make another channel, things might blow up. So I don't know, maybe I can't reach that trilogy. Maybe this is not one of those trilogy series, but we'll see. You never know. What would you guys want to see as a third channel? Yari asks, what is your favorite fish breed and how did you even get into the hobby? Most of you probably know it's the Endler's Live Bearer, and that is also the fish that got me into the hobby. I was sick and I was sitting at the walking clinic. There was a beautiful tank. I think I was like 7 or 8 or 10, I can't remember, but I see this little fish. It was a beautiful planted tank, and I see this one little Endler's Live Bearer looking around. The beautiful colors, I don't know, it just made me want to get into fish keeping myself. The Beige Sheep asks, can you please share about jobs an environmental science major can get? You can get actually a big range of jobs. You can get anywhere from like a park ranger, a park technician, to a consultant at whatever company that needs to develop land. You can also be a field scientist, which is kind of what I did. I was fortunate enough, like that was my goal, getting into environmental science or ecological restoration is my bachelor's degree. And I did get that goal, and it was a blast because you get to be a field scientist and technician, and then you get to report back, you get to analyze the data, and this is like real stuff. Like we worked with salmonid habitat restoration, we worked with birds, we worked with plants, invasive species, we worked with so many different kind of things. I got to experience so much live trapping of like green invasive crabs, and of course when you get the bycatch like sculpins and all these other cool fish, you get to check them out and you just release them. It's an amazing experience. I loved looking for salamanders and other critters in the logs. I remember looking for tadpoles in a stream and doing research and analyzing their data. It's just something that I would have dreamt of doing when I was a kid, so that was a really awesome time. Aquafinity asks, what's the biggest word of advice you could give to smaller fish tubers like me? There's so many things I could say here, but the biggest word of advice I can give you comes in two parts. The first part is really find and do something that you find pleasure in that can last you a long time in this hobby as video content. And after you find that, stick with it and be consistent with it. Ian Harburn Bagol, one of the most prolific commenters on this channel and my food channel too. What new fish will you buy this year? We are left guessing. Right now I have in my mind more chili rasboras and maybe even culiloches, maybe some corridoras, some more shrimp. Other than that, it's up in the air right now. Maybe a few cichlids, dwarf cichlids of some sort. New bettas for rescuing if I have room and if I find any bettas needing of a rescue. Dino Din, what is your favorite MapleStory map music? So for those of you who are confused by this question, I've been a huge MapleStory fan and player since 2007 or 8, the golden years. It's just like this side scroll game. I don't know, it's a silly mushroom game, but I even play it till like this day. Obviously I don't play it ongoing, I just sometimes get in game when there's a fun event or something like that. It's run by the company Nexon, and I hate Nexon, so it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. But they have one of the best like background music in my opinion. They even play it in the orchestras, like professional orchestras play their music. To answer your question, I feel like I have to go OG map music, like it's either Kerning City or Alinea. Callie Thompson, should beginners start with a community tank or a single wet pet? You know, my favorite fish to recommend beginners is actually a betta fish, so I would say single wet pet, but I don't really have a problem with beginners trying to do a community tank. Just keep your like number of species lower, maybe 2 or 3 species max, not Noah's Ark, please, not Noah's Ark. RJ's Fishes asks, what inspired you to become a YouTuber? Plus, why don't you do a channel on reptiles since you have some? Well, I just don't think I have enough reptiles or have the time to start a whole dedicated reptile channel. I would love to if I could do shadow clone jutsu, but I can't. What inspired me to be a YouTuber? I think I answer this quite often as well, but when I first started, all I wanted to do was share my hobby with people on the internet because I had no friends that did fish keeping or knew anything about fish keeping or were interested at all in real life, so I had no one to talk to. I never wanted to be a full-time YouTuber. I never wanted or expected to make any money, and I just recorded on my phone and I just talked about my hobby, and I loved answering comments, and that's pretty much what I do now as well, although I'm not recording on my phone anymore. Sometimes I do. Rachel Laxton, what is your dream fish to own? My dream fish is actually a snakehead, which is really invasive. I'm not talking about one of those giant snakeheads. I'm talking about like a dwarf species of snakehead that you can fit in a 30-gallon, maybe 50-gallon. However, to my knowledge, I think all snakehead species are banned where I live, which is very understandable because if even 1 or 2 gets loose, it's over for that ecosystem, bro. They're one of the most resilient species on earth, but they're so beautiful. So hopefully somehow one day. Hayden likes pigs. What is your favorite video game? Like I said, I've been like a lifelong player of MapleStory, so that's definitely my top video game. It doesn't mean I like that video game the best, which is kind of weird. I just have like this, it's kind of like family, right? You don't choose your family, but you have to love your family. I've played Warframe. I really loved Warframe. I think I'm like mastery rank 15 or 18 or something like that, which is kind of high, not nothing. I played a lot of RPGs, MMORPGs. I'm just playing Valorant and Smash Bros now. I like Smash Bros. Other than that, I'm not really a console player. Growing up, I never was able to afford consoles, so now I have a Switch and that's pretty much it. Empress Irene, a bit fish crazy, asked this question: is a huge tank with a bunch of neon tetras still your dream tank? I believe it's still definitely one of my top dream tanks. Ever since I saw it at a local fish store when I was younger. That local fish store is sadly gone from a long time ago. The owner got pregnant and I think they just never wanted to come back to the business after their maternity leave. Your Rost Spef Vodka asks, what's the stupidest thing you've seen when you worked at Petco? Well, I've never worked at Petco because there's no Petco in Canada. I worked at PetSmart, something that was really not smart, and this happens kind of often. And I've talked about it, I shared it on one of my videos, is that there's a lot of customers that come in and they think it's actually Best Buy because we're located like under a Best Buy, so the Best Buy is on top. You have to take the stairs up, but instead of going to Best Buy, they just see the sign up top and they enter PetSmart. We're all wearing blue just like Best Buy, but these customers are like so oblivious that they pass all the pet aisles, they even pass the groomers and the cats, and they still think they're in Best Buy. They pass the birds and they go to the fish section. I'm wiping down some tanks and they're like, they tap me on the shoulder like, hey, where's the laptops? And I always, it's so hard not to laugh at the customer at that point. I know I'm not supposed to, but I do it anyway. Who cares? I just laugh at them and I'm like, dude, you're in PetSmart. Look around you, bro. You don't think there might be something wrong here? Like, could be lucid dreaming right now, maybe? Who goes into a Best Buy and sees birds for sale? What kind of Best Buy is that? Nathan asks, are you a car guy? If so, what kind of cars are you into? Let's just say I'm the least car guy. I do like my gas cars. I gotta say, like, vroom vroom baby, you gotta feel that. But I have been the passenger in a few Teslas and their acceleration is no joke. That being said, I myself drive a Lexus IS. It's a pretty old model. It's got some kilometers to it, but it's super fun. It's agile, it's like sporty. It's just the perfect car for me right now. It's not even that fast. It just feels fast. I know you like lizards, fish, and birds. Do you like snakes? I think they are very misunderstood animals and was just curious. Would you own one? I absolutely love snakes. I, at one point, really considered getting a pet snake or two, but like, my mom would probably die if there was a snake in her home. And my fiance, when I move out, like, she will die too if she knows there's a snake somewhere in her home. I just can't do that to them. I know the misunderstanding's there, but you know, I don't think I can ever convince anyone in my life that I'm living with it's okay to keep a snake next to them. Even though the snake that I want to keep is like the size of a worm, I want to keep a hognose, or what's the other one called? I forgot what the other one is called, but it's also like the size of a worm. It doesn't even look like a snake. It looks like an oversized coolie loach. That's why I love them. They're so dorky and cute. Sand boa, maybe. Mike J, what is your favorite movie of all time? The Big Short. Curbs, what is your favorite anime of all time? Naruto. Once again, that doesn't mean I think Naruto's the best anime. It's just like I grew up with it. It's like family. Can't hate family. Fullmetal Alchemist is a close contender, and I would say much better of an anime than Naruto. And then there's all these other anime coming out these days, like Jujutsu Kaisen is awesome, Demon Slayer is crazy. Attack on Titan's probably my third. So top 3 anime: Naruto, Fullmetal Alchemist, Attack on Titan. What about you guys? Big's Hobbies, how to grow plants 101. I'm assuming aquarium plants. If we're not talking about the advanced plants, then you don't need CO2. I think the 2 key things is substrate and keeping your light on a timer. If it's a plant that doesn't really go into the substrate that much, liquid fertilizer and light that's on the timer. The Where Friend asks, what makes a man? Churs, being able to own up to your mistakes and very regular self-reflection. Football X Edits asks, Ronaldo or Messi? Messi, no contest. And that about wraps up this Q&A 2023 FFT. Let's go. Hope that was enjoyable for you at all. Hope you guys had a fun time watching. Thank you for asking the questions, those that did. Very sorry to those that I did not, you know, get to answer the questions. Maybe next time. Maybe I'll make this a yearly thing if I can remember. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe. There'll be more videos to come, and don't forget to get your hands wet. Tetra, we in a spot, coming in hot. Ventral fin dot, acclimate that. With my shoal at, cure my fin rot from Cariciformes to Paracherodon. Hold on, there's not another fish that you can wish for. Lit fam sus, I finna one. I finna gone 3 days without furt. I'm an addict, like fanatic. I'm a baddest, no tabs, only dirt. My Corey gang so loyal, black Tetra go skirt. We came to play, came to silence.